All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network. Tonight, we are once again with the Mid-South iRacing Tour at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway tonight for the season finale of the 2022 fall season. So right now, we got 30 cars strong here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Actually, a couple weeks from now, the biggest race of the year down in Tennessee, the All-American 400. Well, like I said, coming up in just a couple weeks. Tonight we will be going for 200 laps, so half the distance of that big race. So on the left side of your screen, you see the top 20 right now. At the top of those 20, your points leader, Mark Keatman Jr., who picked up the victory last week at Langley. Starting it off right here tonight, his competitor in the championship, Carter Russo, who's won the last two times we've went to the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. He's sitting in the fourth spot, so a lot of speed from our top two competitors in the points. We'll take a quick look around the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Let's take a look right here. Colton Coe out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, pulling onto the racetrack. The WD Broadcast Network number 78. This practice just about over, but we'll take a quick look around. We got our turn 1 entrance camera down here, and then we got a camera in the middle. 1 and 2. Out of 2, down the back straightaway. Into turn 3, turns 3 and 4, exit of 4, and returning after a couple weeks off, we have our drone camera going to be following the drivers around. Pretty unique camera angles here tonight on the WD Broadcasting Network. This practice is getting ready to go checkered, and we're about to start qualifying here at the fairgrounds. So 32 cars are in the session as of right now, so it should be a great race here tonight at Nashville Fairgrounds. As I said, a long 200 laps, so at the end of this one, it's going to be the guy that saves his tires the best. These guys got one set of tires down in the pits. And here we go, getting ready for qualifying. It looks like on the track first right here, the Bump and Run Racing Lentz Jr. Photography and Design number 1 machine making his way through turns 3 and 4. Out of 4, he's going to see the green flag this time from Kokomo, Indiana. It is Austin Godfrey. Godfrey, no stranger to the Mid-South iRacing Tour. We saw him competing for the win a couple weeks ago at the South Boston Speedway, looking for a good run here in the final race of the season. As he comes up and out of turn number 4. The first lap time of an 18.25, 18.2 with a 5. Galen Clark going to the top of the board as of right now, and as I say that, Mark Keatman, our points leader, goes to the top of the speed charts, makes his way into turn number 3 on lap number 2. As that MK Performance number 2 has been very strong all year in qualifying. He picks it up a little bit on the second lap. Alex Sexton going to second quick on the board with an 18.07. Nathan Coaster to the top of the board. We saw him go quick time last week at the Langley Speedway. He's Nate on lap number 2. Slows it down a little bit. But first lap, good enough for quick time. On the track right here, number 48 machine. We haven't seen him in a couple weeks, but Kuko E Motorsports number 48, Kenneth Kuko, making his return to the Mid-South iRacing Tour. It's been a couple weeks. We're glad to have him back here tonight as he heads into turn number 3. It's lap number 1 for Kuko. He's going to go 18th quick with a 18.32. Times are very, very close here throughout the top 20, as you see on the left side of your screen. A lot of 1s and 2s going around. As Kuko going to have to save it off of 4. Dalton Collins goes the fastest here into the number 95 machine. As we'll take a look at your current top 20 on the left side of your screen. Dalton Collins, Nathan Coaster, Mark Keatman, a bunch of guys that we are used to seeing at the top of the speed charts. Blaine Aiken, who just had a good run at the Winchester Speedway this weekend. Or this past weekend, he came home second in the point standings in his rookie season. Carter Russo, the two-time champion, trying to make it 3 here tonight. He sits in the 5th spot. Alex Sexton, who we've seen up at the front quite a bit this season, is in 6th. Noah Allison in 7th. Colton Coe 8th. Preston Boers in 9th. And Austin Godfrey going to round out the top 10 for right now. Still got a couple cars that haven't quite taken the time yet, but we're getting there shortly. So here comes another one onto the raceway. As he heads onto the racetrack now. The CDE Collision Centers, ABC Auto Parts, Tri-State Disposal, graphics by WD number 112 from Crete, Illinois, Ethan Wolf. We've seen Wolf all season here in the Mid-South iRacing Tour. He's currently sitting in the 4th spot in points. Him and Alex Sexton are having a great battle for that 3rd position. This lap number 1 for Wolf, going to put him 14th quick on the board, at 18.12. As he slides out of turn number 2, that might slow down the lap time. We'll see as he rolls through the center of 3 and 4. He's got a lot of wheel into it. He comes up and out of turn number 4, and he's going to grab the wall, and that's going to invalidate his lap time. So his qualifying comes to an end. Dalton Collins picks up the pole. So in the final race of the season, Dalton Collins going to the top of the speed charts. So 27 cars taking time. I believe these guys are going to have a quick driver's meeting. And we will be right back on the WD Broadcasting Network for the drop of the green flag. As folks, we are back here on the WD Broadcasting Network. You see it up at the top left of your screen, 200 laps. We're going to be going the distance here tonight. As you see right here, the field right behind the iRacing.com pace car getting set and ready to roll off of pit road. You see all 29 or so cars down there. So 29 cars on the grid here tonight, getting set to go 200 laps. The drivers get access to their steering and throttle. They start to roll off of the pits here at Fairgrounds. So on the pole will be the number 95 machine of Dalton Collins. To his outside, it's going to be the number 53 of Nathan Coaster. Your points leader coming into tonight, Mark Keatman in the MK Performance number 2, going to roll off third. Blaine Aiken to his outside in the 05 machine. Carter Russo and Alex Sexton going to make up row number 3. Noah Allison and Preston Boers right behind them. Sorry, Noah Allison and Austin Godfrey right behind them. It looks like my starting lineup here on the left side, or on my screen over here, is a little bit messed up, but you see everybody right there just about ready to go. The field seeing the one to go here. So right here, they pace their way into turns 1 and 2. And it's going to be in the hands of Dalton Collins and Nathan Coaster, ready to go 200 laps of green flag racing here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. For the final time right here, the pace car going to move its way down on the pit road, and it's in the hands of Nathan Coaster. Dalton Collins out of turn number 4. The 95 of Collins goes, and for the final time this season, we are racing down into turns 1 and 2. Everybody looking to take it nice and easy into turns 1 and 2, but not Nathan Coaster. Down the back straightaway, he slips to the inside. The caution flag flies as they were heading down the back straightaway. It looks like Austin Godfrey in the 1 machine slowed with some damage down the back straightaway. We'll take a look at what happened. It looks like right here going through turns 1 and 2, you see the 1 of Godfrey just get up a little bit too high and grabs the outside wall. He slides across the racetrack. The 38 machine of Galen Clark was also involved. You saw him grab some damage there. So not a good start for Godfrey, who we said was looking to have a good run here tonight. But somebody that did have a good start, the number 53 machine of Nathan Coaster, took the lead right away as they were heading down the back straightaway. It looks like the lights fall off on the iRacing.com pace car. It means we are getting ready to go back racing. So after 1 caution, Nathan Coaster takes the lead. So right here on the top of your screen, Coaster, Collins, Keatman, Aiken, Russo, and Sexton, your top 6. Out of turn number 4, Nathan Coaster going to hit the gas pedal here. He taps the gas, and once again, we are racing down into turns 1 and 2. Everybody, once again, kind of backing off, taking it nice and easy through turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway they go. Everybody looks to make it through cleanly that time. And Nathan Coaster already to a couple car lengths advantage on the number 95 of Mark Keatman. Alex Sexton battling for the 6th spot. He falls in line right behind them. Ethan Wolf, Preston Boers, looks like they sorted out. So everybody kind of giving and taking quite a bit here. Austin Coe on the inside of Sean Freeman. Sean up the racetrack, giving him plenty of room. And as I say that, the caution flag flies. Noah Allison upside down on the front straightaway. Allison coming to rest upside down. Ethan Wolf involved. Colton Coe as well. You see Jesse Henderson stopped right there in the 28 machine. So a big accident out of turn number 4. We'll take a look at what happened. So it looks like going through turns 3 and 4 right here. You see Allison 24, Alex Sexton Looks like the 9 machine just gets tagged a little bit. He's able to drive out of it, but the same story not written for Noah Allison as he ends up on his lid. Austin Godfrey sliding in late in the number 1 machine. So a bunch of cars sliding in to the accident out of turn number 4. So a couple more cars collected, and we aren't even 10 laps in here, folks. As Nathan Coaster able to retain the lead. He keeps the lead as they head down the back straightaway right here under caution. So Coaster, your leader. Collins able to stay in the second spot. We'll display the top 20 right here on the left side of your screen. So coming into tonight, Mark Keatman having a 16-point advantage over the second place driver, Carter Russo. Carter Russo has kept the points lead since about race number 4. Mark Keatman, after last week's race, took it back for the first time all season. He is the leader coming into tonight. So I think it's safe to say if Keatman finishes ahead of Russo, he's going to lock up the title. But if Keatman has problems, we're going to have to see if Russo is able to hang on here. Drew Chance in the EHP Racing, number 12 right there on the bottom side of the racetrack, right behind the pace car. He is your lucky dog. Sorry, he's going to have the wave around, so he'll be heading around the pace car right here as the field gets one to green. Oh, I apologize. It looks like iRacing not going to give him the wave right there. Usually if the car is a lap down in front of the leaders, the iRacing just gives him a wave around, lets him head back around, but not tonight, I guess. So the field making their way down the back straightaway once again. Coaster gonna peek out a little bit. Collins kind of staying back. As I say that, the caution flag got thrown right there, so we're not going green this time. Race control here in the Mid-South iRacing Tour, not quite ready to send the field back to green flag racing. So we're gonna hold one more lap. Looks like the lights are off this time, so we're gonna be going green out of turn number 4. Take a look at the field as they head down the back straightaway here. Quite a few cars back there. Quite a few with some damage already, and we're on lap number 12. So some of those guys have been involved in these early cautions. They're going to have to find a way to stay out of trouble for the rest of the race. So it's Coaster, Collins, Keatman, and Aiken, your top 4. They come out of the corner, and we are racing once again at Fairgrounds. Coaster is able to get a nice run out of the corner, head into turn 1 as the leader, but Mark Keatman struggling to get around Blaine Aiken up top. Russo, the guy second in points, right behind them. He's going to try and get ahead of Keatman as early as he can. Keatman a little bit sideways out of the corner. Blaine Aiken able to hang on for now. As I say that, the caution flag flies. Cole Baxter, it looks like, has some problems. This Cole Baxter with some damage down in turns 1 and 2. We'll take a look at what happened. As you see the field coming out of turn number 4 right here, the 005 machine, John Gahan, just might have just ran out of room there on the top side of the racetrack. Tags Cole Baxter in the 03 machine, and around he went up and into the outside wall. And that puts us under caution once again. As under yellow once again here in the Mid-South iRacing Tour. Your leader, Nathan Coaster, on screen right now. Under caution for the third time here. Coaster and Collins, still your top two competitors. We saw Mark Keepman trying to get around Blaine Aiken there. Aiken was able to hang on to the top side. And folks, if you're unfamiliar to Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, especially on the iRacing.com simulator, it's hard to pass here. The top lane's able to hang on the corner exit just because of how big of a run you get down the long straightaways. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as we go forward. But we are about to go green with Nathan Coaster and Dalton Collins leading us to the line. As Coaster goes, Collins kind of slid up there a little bit. Wonder if he spun the tires going into turns 1 and 2. So once again right here, Keeman and Aiken side by side. Looks like Keeman able to get a better jump this time. He's going to have the advantage going into turns 3 and 4. Russo now going to try and take advantage of Aiken up on top. As Aiken looks like he is able to shuffle in line right in front of Carter Russo along 200 laps. These guys trying to just kind of ride around for a bit, especially these guys up front. Behind them, a couple guys side by side. Justin Collison in the 012 machine, and Matthew Modzaleski 53M machine up top. Those guys give each other plenty of room here early on. Modzaleski going to fall back and tuck in the line. Right behind them, Kenneth Kuko and Sean Freeman going at it for the 10th spot. Looks like Kuko's going to get it going into turns 1 and 2 right here. So it looks like everybody's kind of just starting to settle in the line, try and get some laps under their belt. Behind them, John Mahan. Ooh, contact right there. You see a couple guys going up the racetrack. Dustin Smith, Nick Smith in the 10. Luckily, everybody able to save it in there. Keep out of controversy. Nick Smith in the 10 going around. That puts us under yellow once again. So we saw it right there. Dustin Smith in the 33 and Nick Smith in the 10 machine. Looks like they just made a little bit of contact going into turns 1 and 2. It started down in 3 and 4. They were playing bumper tag going in there. You see Dustin in the 33 and Nick in the 10. Looks like Dustin just gets in a little bit too hot. 10 and Nick Smith going around. Holton Co. having to take evasive action there on the bottom, trying to miss it. We saw Austin Godfrey swerving up to the top side, getting around right there. So once again, under yellow here for the 4th time at Nashville. Coaster still your leader. And I don't know what happened to Dalton Collins. It doesn't show that he's on the racetrack. So he might be having some connection issues here. Because it looks like Collins a couple laps down already. So Collins with some connection issues. That's going to hand over the 2nd spot to Mark Keatman into the number 2 machine. Looks like Preston Boers, who we saw running right at the front, he's a couple laps down as well in the 29 machine. Field gets the 1 to go signal from your flagman up in the stands. We're going to be sending them green this time by. This time around, it's going to be Nathan Coaster and Mark Keatman in the number 2 machine, leading us to the green. Blaine Aiken, Carter Russo making up row number 2. As they make their way way through the middle of turns 3 and 4. The pace car drops to the bottom side of the racetrack and pulls down pit road. Coaster going at the start line right there. They're going to be side by side going into turns 1 and 2. Keeping up top, Coaster on the bottom. As they head out of turn number 2, Coaster going to slide up a little bit. A little sideways off the corner. Keeping to back out while he can. Tucks back in line. Russo and Aiken right here going at it for position number 3. Russo hanging tough on the top. Blaine Aiken trying to fight back on the bottom. Looks like Russo going to have the advantage going down the back straightaway. So they make a little bit of contact, beating and banging out of turn number 4. Russo giving Aiken plenty of room on the bottom side of the racetrack. You see the 05 getting a little bit upset off those bumps out of turn number 2, and that just allows Carter Russo to creep right back and roll down the back straightaway on his outside. As Aiken once again not able to do it on the bottom. These guys have been side by side since the restart. As they get even closer that time when they exited turns 1 and 2, Aiken still making an effort on the bottom. Russo gets a little bit loose. That's going to allow Aiken to have the advantage of going into 1. It looks like Aiken able to almost clear him out of turn number 2 right there. Russo up top. These two battling side by side is going to allow Adam Roberson in the black and pink number 28 right there. He's going to close in a little bit because of these two battling. Is Aiken able to make the pass work and give Blaine Aiken in the 3rd position. Up front, Nathan Coaster, Mark Keeman have broken away from your 3rd place battle quite a bit. So Nathan Coaster, Mark Keeman, your top 2 is, as I say that, the caution flag flies. Looks like Ryan Freeman with some damage on the front straightaway past the pace car right there. We'll take a look at what happened. It looks like right here, John Gahan in the 005 machine just gets up a little bit too much down the back straightaway, and he goes for a ride. Wall rides almost the entire corner and grabs it again in turns 3 and 4. Might have lost the steering going into the corner, and he slows. That brings us to a caution. You see on the bottom side of your screen right there, Freeman in the 87 gets tagged by Dustin Smith after the caution came out, so he comes to a rest down in the bottom of the front stretch. So under caution for the 5th time here tonight. We're going to be coming to 35 laps in this time. Nathan Coaster still the leader up front. We'll take an overhead shot of the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, and we will be right back on the WD Broadcasting Network. You see them live from the blimp up there, so we will be right back. as I'm back. We are getting ready to send them back. Green flag racing, the field double up, heading down the back straightaway. Mark Keeman and Nathan Coaster. Coaster has led every lap since he took the lead from Dalton Collins out of turn 2 on the first lap, and he's going nice and early. So Coaster going to have a lead going out into turns 1 and 2. It looks like everybody enters the corner nice and cleanly and heading down the back straightaway. I don't see any problems as of right now, so it looks like we are back racing for real this time. Aiken able to get in line, and top 4 starting to break away. Jake Brooks battling, and John Piet in the 5 machine goes around on the front straightaway. Someone coming in way late right there. Ryan Freeman in the 18 machine came in with a full head of steam way late into that accident. Got some more damage than he already had on that front end. We'll take a look at what happened to the number 5 machine of John Piet. So it looks like going into the corner right here. See the 228s behind him, Jesse Henderson and Austin Coe. It looks like Piet kind of stops or slows down a little bit on the exit of the corner. Austin Coe just grabs that left rear and around at the number 5 went. You saw the 18 of Ryan Freeman also sliding in there late. So Nathan Coaster, your leader right here. Under caution once again for the 6th time here tonight. We've still got about 18 cars on the lead lap in this one. So 18 of the 29 that took the green still on the lead lap. We will be going to single file restarts this time. So Coaster able to hang on to the lead that time, and everybody slotting in the line right behind them. Folks, coming up here in a couple weeks, we got the start of a new series starting on, I believe, November 3rd. Gotta check my dates here and see which November. It is November 3rd. The first Thursday of November, we're going to be starting up the WD Broadcasting Network Super Late Model Series on Thursday nights. Everybody going to be going for the title on that one. Got a couple of guys lined up, ready to make some starts there. And as I say that, we are back racing. Coaster getting off nice and early. He's going to have a good lead going into turns 1 and 2. A couple of car lengths on Mark Keatman before they even were down the straightaway and down the back straightaway. Everybody obviously single file, started them that way, and Coaster going to hang on as of right now. Keatman closed the gap a little bit that time through that corner. Might start to think is Coaster saving as we potentially get a green flag run here as everybody's already single file. So Coaster, your leader. As I say that, yellow flag, 18, Ryan Freeman, has gone around down the back straightaway. And right here, the 18 just having a little bit of trouble in the center of the corner, gets off a little bit too much throttle, and around goes the 18 of Ryan Freeman. That puts us under yellow once again. Couple cars dropping out of the server here, having some connection issues, it looks like. That's going to drop a couple more cars out of this one. Looks like we'll have 16 cars in the lead lap now. But back up front once again, Nathan Coaster, your leader. Raymond Haynes getting the wave around. He's going to be on the lead lap now. So 17 cars on the lead lap. Coaster, your leader still. We are 49 laps in, coming to lap number 50 right here. We're coming to complete lap number 50. As I was saying before we went back green that last time, the WD Broadcasting Network Super Late Model Series, Thursday night's going to be broadcasted right here. So make sure you tune in on Thursday night, starting November 3rd. Should be a great series. We're going to be running open setups so these guys can have a chance to build them themselves. And once again, as I say that, we are back racing. You see the field making their way onto the screen, heading through turns 1 and 2. Single file restart once again that time. So Ethan Wolf up into the outside wall. Luckily he's able to get out of it. We are able to stay green. This Coaster completes lap number 52. The 53 car working lap number 53 in the top spot, keeping it second. It looks like everybody's single file for right now. Coaster comes out of turn number 4. Still no challenge for Mark Keatman yet. As Kenneth Kuko makes his way around Matthew Modzaleski for position number 6. As Kuko getting around him right there. Back up front. Coaster heading down the back straightaway. Austin Coe working the inside of John Piet for the 14th spot. Looks like Piet going to let him go into turn number 3. Give Austin Coe position number 14 right there. He gets a little bit sideways, coming out of the corner. Coaster working lap number 57. I think it's time for a WD Broadcasting Network Bring It Up. We go on board with the number 53 machine of the Nathan Coaster. right there doing what I like to call a cut line. He does the cut line going through turns 1 and 2 right there. You see him, watch him right here kind of slide up a little bit off that yellow line and dip it right back down. That way the car can roll through the center and you can cheat the bumps on the bottom of the racetrack. The fairgrounds, known for its bumpy surface, especially in the corners, particularly turns 1 and 2. There's a lot of bumps down there. So the way I like to drive this racetrack, you let it slide up and kind of drive it over the bumps as straight as you can. Otherwise, they upset the car. This Coaster still your leader 10 laps later. He's working lap number 63. Keatman and Aiken have started to close the gap here. But it's a long 200 laps. These guys trying to really just keep the tires underneath of the cars as much as they can. A lot of these guys that were multiple laps down making their way back onto the racetrack is Ethan Wolf, about 15 laps down. He's came onto the racetrack and passed Alex Sexton, who went into the pits. So that might be a point or move to. That might be a move that moves Ethan Wolf up into the 3rd spot in points, as Sexton is in the pits right now. Still right now, Coaster able to hang on to the lead. The top 4 relatively close here, just a couple of car lengths separating all of them. Aiken in the 05 machine. We saw him almost pick up the victory a couple weeks ago at the South Boston Speedway. Just some late race controversy, just not able to get it done. He was battling hard with the 112 of Ethan Wolf as he looks to the inside into turns 1 and 2. Trying to take the 2nd spot away from Mark Keatman. Keatman holding him tight down on the bottom of turns 1 and 2. As Aiken just not quite able to get it done yet on the bottom side of the racetrack. The tires starting to get hot in these super late models, making it harder to pass, but through turns 1 and 2 that time, looks like Aiken going to have the advantage. Not quite clear, but as they head into turns 3 and 4, Keatman backs off a little bit, slots in behind the 05 machine. That puts our top 2 competitors in the point standings right next to each other. Mark Keatman in the lead, Carter Russo in the 2nd spot. They set 3rd and 4th in the final race of the season right now as we approach lap number 75. So Keatman just trying to keep Carter Russo at bay to collect his first Mid-South iRacing Tour championship. The 2 full seasons that Mid-South iRacing Tours ran super late models, Carter Russo has been able to pick up the championship both times. So Keatman trying to knock him off of that throne as the Mid-South iRacing Tour champion. We've seen those 2 battle for wins all season long, going back and forth with the title of most wins in series history. Keatman has it right now, but Carter Russo not close behind. So right now, Keatman leading with 14 wins and Carter Russo at 14. So 1 win separating the 2. As of right now, Nathan Coaster looks to be the guy to beat. He's been out front this entire race, 73 laps. He has led the field. Right now, everybody just kind of settling in. Long race, 200 laps. We aren't even halfway yet. So these guys just trying to keep the tires underneath the cars. They will have to make 1 fuel stop. And I'm going to assume that these guys take tires with that stop. You never know, you might see some strategy come into play. So we'll keep an eye on that later in the event. Right now, Coaster up front, Aiken 2nd, Mark Keatman 3rd, and Carter Russo 4th. Let's take a look at the times last time around. Looks like Nathan Coaster, one of the faster cars on the racetrack, actually the fastest car on the racetrack. As I say that, the yellow flag flying. Cole Baxter in the 03 machine. He's on pit road. He was on the racetrack just now, so we'll take a look at what happened to the 03. It looks like he went through turns 1 and 2 right here, grabbed the bumps the wrong way, got tight up the racetrack, and taking a slide into the outside wall, and he goes around and down the back straightaway and comes to a rest just before turns 3 and 4. A single car incident puts us under yellow after the longest green flag run we've had so far tonight. But still up front, your leader, Nathan Coaster. And now, folks, I believe it's going to be time for some tire strategy, or sorry, pit stop strategy. So we'll see what exactly happens. Nobody going to pit right now, I don't believe, as Ethan Wolf gets the wave around. Carter Russo taking the first bite at a strategy play here. Russo heading to the pits. We'll see if he's just getting tires or if it's a fuel stop for the 21 machine. Parks it in the box, and we'll see if the right side of that race car goes up. Looks like it doesn't so far, so it looks like it might just be a fuel-only stop for the 21 machine of Carter Russo. Colton Coe also down pit road. Looks like it might have just been a fast repair for the 78 machine. As Russo rolling out from the pits. Noah Allison also on pit road on the lead lap. Looks like he's getting fuel only down on pit road. So that's going to be a change in the top 4. Carter Russo electing to pit early on here. But he didn't take tires, so that's going to be one thing to note going forward. So Russo with enough fuel to make it to the end, I believe, but he has not taken tires yet, so we'll probably see Carter Russo down pit road one more time. I think it's a little bit unrealistic to make these tires push for 200 laps. You saw right there the fall off on time. I mean, they were going 17.9s in qualifying, and in the race right there we saw them going 18.5s. So definitely a strategy game being played here. As you see up on top of your screen, you can see 5 cars at a time scrolling around. We're going to be sending them green once again, not quite to the halfway mark in this one, but we'll be coming to green to lap 81. Leaving us 119 laps to go. So Coaster, Aiken, Keatman, Collison, Kuko, and Carpenter, your top 6, and we are green out of turn number 4. The field back double file here as they go into turns 1 and 2. Everybody just going to try and settle in. It looks like they do so through the first corner. This Coaster heading down the back straightaway. No real battles. That top 4 just electing to stay single file for right now, but Austin Coe working the inside of Matthew Modzaleski. Modzaleski going to give way for right now, and here comes Austin Godfrey in the 1 machine. So a pair of Austins trying to do work on the 53 of Modzaleski into turns 3 and 4. Matthew giving him plenty of room up on the top side. Carter Russo getting around Colton Coe, and he elects that it's his turn to get around Matthew Modzaleski, and there goes Colton Coe as well. So Modzaleski just trying to hang in there and be there at the end, it looks like. So up front, Coaster, Aiken, Keatman, your top 3 once again. So far, the only 2 cars that we've seen down pit road of this front-running group is Colton Coe and Carter Russo. They've recovered nicely. A lot of cars in this race are not in this race anymore. 14 cars on the lead lap. So if you do pit, it's not going to hurt you as much as it would have earlier on in the race. Russo was able to get around Austin Godfrey. 78 of Colton Coe, probably not going to be that far behind. Getting around the 1 machine. Sean Freeman, 87 car, looking to the inside of Matthew Modzaleski for the 13th position. 53 up top, giving him plenty of room on the bottom to make his moves. Things are starting to heat up for the 2nd spot. Keatman and Aiken going at it right here. We're going to go on board with Mark Keatman your points leader into the number 2 machine as he tries to get around Blaine Aiken. As the field coming to a slow. The 87, Sean Freeman, with some more front end damage than the last time we checked in on him. So we'll take a look at what happened. So right here, Freeman just looks like he gets a little bit too much throttle out of turn number 2. Tries to lock it down and avoid the spin, but ends up coming to a complete stop on the bottom of the back straightaway just before you enter turn number 3. Tagging that inside wall. Looks like he gets it rolling away, and I think the problem might be solved right here, but here we go. A little bit more strategy. Your leader, Nathan Coaster, on pit road. It looks like it was a fuel-only stop for the 53 machine, so a couple guys electing to take only fuel here so far. Colton Coe also back down. Noah Allison, Matthew Modzaleski, Austin Godfrey, all on pit road this time. Godfrey taking tires in the 1 machine. So he's going to be the last of the cars off of pit road. He might lose a lap unless it lets him go around the pace car. It looks like it's going to. But nonetheless, that will hand over the lead to the 05 of Blaine Aiken. So Aiken going to pick up the lead after Nathan Coaster elected to pit. But right there, once again, a fuel-only stop on pit road that time. The last fuel-only stop we saw, Carter Russo, he's already back up to the 8th spot, but with enough fuel to maybe make the rest of this race. So if this race does go green the rest of the way, which is a little bit unlikely, but if it does, Russo and Coaster going to be sitting pretty if those guys up front have to pit. But you might ask, is it worth giving up the track position in the lead just to go down for a splash of fuel and not pick up your tires? And that's the debate you guys could have down in the comment section below. But for me personally, I would have stayed out just past where I get fuel, or just get enough fuel to make it to the end, and I would have grabbed fuel and tires. A lot of strategy being played already in this one. We are starting to approach that halfway mark. 91 laps in as Aiken sees the white flag. We're going to be going green next time by. So for the first time this race, the start will not be in the hands of the 53 machine of Nathan Coaster. It's in the hands of the 05 of Blaine Aiken with Mark Keatman to his outside. So it's Aiken, Keatman, Collison, Kuko, Brooks, and Carpenter, your top 6. We're going to be heading green out of turn number 4. Aiken gets away nicely and down into turns 1 and 2. He's going to have no threat from Mark Keatman right now as Collison 3 wide behind them. Jake Brooks way up top in no man's land through turns 1 and 2 that time. Coaster going to have an opportunity to the bottom side of the racetrack. He makes it work, but we saw Austin Coe and Carter Russo 3 wide with the number 57 machine out of turn number 2 that time. It all worked out. We are still under green here. Russo already back up to the 6th spot after grabbing that extra fuel. So Aiken, your leader, Keatman right behind him. We saw these guys starting to battle for that 2nd spot just before the last caution flag flew. So it's Aiken, Keatman, and Kuko, your top 3. Austin Coe in the 28 machine. Looks like he might be having connection issues right there. You see him blinking in and out in the 28. We'll keep an eye on if that gets worse or better throughout the rest of the race. This Coaster trying to get around him for the 7th spot. The connection for the 28 making it a little bit different for the 53 right now, but it'll probably come back. But up front, your leader, is Blaine Aiken. And as I say that, the caution flag flies. Looks like Sean Freeman in the 87 machine brings it to rest. We'll take a look at what happened there. Looks like he just gets up a little bit too high once again. The 53 of Matthew Monzaleski just nowhere to go. He goes around in turns 3 and 4. Brings it to rest on pit road, and Blaine Aiken still your leader. We saw Mark Keatman starting to close the gap there right before the yellow once again. So Keatman just not quite catching enough luck here to make the pass for the lead and lead some laps up front. So Aiken will retain the lead. Keatman in the second spot. We'll take a look down pit road and see if there is any action going on down there. It looks like the 28 of Austin Coe getting some service done on the 28 machine. He's going to get 4 tires and some fuel on the 28. Kenneth Kuko also down in the 71. He makes his way out. So now 14 cars still on the lead lap. Aiken, your leader. As folks, we have just seen the crossed flags. We are 100 laps into this event. 100 more to go here. So the field seeing the 1 to go signal last time by. It's going to be Aiken Keatman once again. Pace car drops to the bottom side of the racetrack, and once again we are racing here on lap 102 as they come around. Aiken with the lead, heading down the back straightaway, Keatman right behind him. Russo now making a challenge for the 4th spot on the inside of Brad Carpenter in the 31. Green 31 up top, he tags the wall. Here comes Nathan Coaster as well. So move Nathan Coaster back up into the top 5. So Carter Russo and Nathan Coaster recovering nicely from their early pit stops. So Aiken and Keatman continue to lead the way here. We got to pay attention here because these cars cannot make it that long on fuel here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Fuel mileage looking to be around, I'd say, 130 laps. So these guys are cutting it close here, letting them go green right here. So Aiken and Keatman, your top 2. I'd assume we'll see him pit next caution flag, but we're going to have to see as Keatman's trying to make a battle for the lead. Keatman really closing the gap now, right there on the back bumper of the 05 as they head into turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway they go. Keatman right there, trying to make the pass happen. Looks like he's able to close up through the corners, just Aiken able to maintain his gap on corner exit. As he slides up a little bit that time, Keatman not going to be affected by it. Keatman trying to take a peek to the inside. Looks like Aiken able to maintain the lead right now. He's going to give him a lane to the bottom. And here comes Mark Keatman in the number 2 machine. Oh, Aiken loose off the corner. That's going to hand the lead over to the number 2 of Mark Keatman. New leader on lap number 109. Mark Keatman taking away the top spot here later in the race. So Keatman, new leader, heading down the back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4. See everybody kind of getting spread out. Colton Coe making a pass for the 6th spot, getting around Brad Carpenter. He's going to try and bring Kenneth Kuko in the number 48 with him. So move Colton Coe to 6th, Kuko into 7th. It's Coe trying to get back. We saw him pit a couple cautions ago with the number 53 of Nathan Coaster. Here comes Kuko to the inside, trying to take away the 6th spot. As the 78 machine giving plenty of room, letting the 48 go. Still early on in this one. Not trying to jeopardize your chances yet. It's back up front. Keatman starting to open up that lead into turn number 3. He's got about 4/10 of a second gap on Blaine Aiken. Then it's another 6/10 back to the 0-12 of Justin Collison with Carter Russo and Nathan Coaster right behind them. So Keatman your leader, Aiken in 2nd, and Collison in the 3rd spot. As Keatman and Aiken starting to pull away from that second group. Russo sideways out of turns 1 and 2 that time. He's going to have to stay up front here if he wants any shot at a 3rd title here in the Mid-South iRacing Tour. As I say that, Nathan Coaster taking a peek to the inside. Coaster trying to make it happen to pick up a victory here in the Mid-South iRacing Tour. He's in the 5th spot right now, trying to get around Carter Russo for the 4th spot. Coaster once again not able to do it. As you see the top 20 on the left side of your screen, we see the times from the last time around. Looks like right now the fastest car on the racetrack is the number 012 of Justin Collison. Collison, a successful sim racer here on the iRacing service, and I might have just gave him the announcer's curse. He tags the outside wall there on that lap. He's able to do a nice job of saving it. He's going to lose 2 spots to the 21 of Nathan Coaster, or the 21 of Carter Russo and the 53 of Nathan Coaster, but Collison with a hit of the outside wall there, climbing the fence down the front straightaway. As Kenneth Kuko has caught that lead pack, trying to come up through the field and potentially collect a victory here. He just came out of nowhere. We saw him get around Colton Coe in the 78. He has stormed up to the back of the top 5, trying to get around Justin Collison in the 012. Things starting to heat up here in the latter half of the top 5. Coaster trying to get around Carter Russo. Mark Keatman really opening up the lead now in the number 2 machine. And it's been 124 laps. These guys are going to start to cut it close on fuel if the caution flag doesn't fly. So you see the gap on the left side of your screen. Keatman to about a 0.7 of a second advantage as they head into turns 1 and 2. And then it's another 2 seconds back to Carter Russo, Nathan Coaster, Kenneth Kuko right there. It's now 125 laps down, working lap number 126 right now. Keatman and Aiken, the only 2 cars I believe that have not pit for fuel yet. So they're going to start to cut it close here as we are working towards lap 150. So we'll keep an eye on the fuel mileage. So you see right here on the left side, or on the right side of your screen, the pit stop strategy. You see Mark Keatman, Blaine Aiken, and Justin Collison, the only 3 drivers in your top 8 to not make a pit stop here. It's been 128 laps. Carter Russo being one of the other drivers that has a longer fuel stint going on right now, but nothing compared to Mark Keatman and Blaine Aiken and Justin Collison. So Nathan Coaster right here, trying to work around Carter Russo in the 21 machine. Kuko right there as well. As Jake Brooks down pit road, Justin Collison as well. Those guys have ran out of fuel. Mark Keatman coming around. He's going to have to cut it close in the number 2 machine. So Brooks and Collison on pit road getting fuel. Keatman and Aiken still on the racetrack, just praying for a caution at this point. This could spell disaster into the championship standings for Mark Keatman, because Carter Russo is plenty good on fuel for a long time here. Is Keatman electing to stay out once again? Is Keatman and Aiken still out on the racetrack? They are going to be cutting close to completely running out of fuel, as we saw Jake Brooks and Justin Collison pit already. So Aiken and Keatman, the only 2 drivers. And as I say that, Blaine Aiken taking the 05 machine down pit road. Catastrophic ending to a good run is Aiken coming down pit road. This can spell disaster here. Mark Keatman came into tonight 14 points to the good over Carter Russo. As he still heads down the back straightaway full speed, has Mark Keatman saved up enough fuel to hang on to this one for now? He will have to pit, so if the caution flag doesn't fly, it will be Mark Keatman. Carter Russo has fallen off quite a bit. Nathan Coaster has collected the 2nd spot, but Kenneth Kuko, who we saw get tires a couple pit stops ago, he's in the 3rd spot trying to get around Nathan Coaster. Drama here in the mid-race portions. Mark Keatman Jr. not out of fuel. He grabs one of the luckier breaks I have ever seen. We saw him jab on the brakes there, and for a minute I thought that your race leader was running out of fuel, but it looks like Justin Collison in the 012. We'll see right here as he comes out of turns 1 and 2. This gets a little bit too much gas and stretches it up a little bit too high and grabs the outside wall and brings it to rest on the bottom side of the racetrack. So the 012 machine bringing out the yellow, but lucky break for your race leader, Mark Keatman. Is right here, right behind him, Nathan Coaster. Everybody on pit road. Looks like the only driver electing to stay out right now, Austin Coe, will grab the race lead. Nathan Coaster grabbing tires in the 53. Mark Keatman as well. Everybody going to be putting tires on. Kenneth Kuko out, first of your leaders. So you see everybody on pit road right there. It looks like Keatman's going to get the race off of pit road from Nathan Coaster. Carter Russo in the 3rd spot. Colton Coe right behind them. A couple more guys down there. Matthew Modzaleski. It looks like Drew Chance. So that will put us under yellow for the 11th time here tonight. We are 139 laps into this one with 60 laps to go. Austin Coe will take over the race lead. Kenneth Kuko in the second spot and Austin Godfrey third. So the first of our drivers that just came down pit road is Mark Keeman into the number 2 machine. Nathan Coaster right behind him. Carter Russo and Colton Coe. A couple guys not catching a break right there. Blaine Aiken in the 05. He went down a couple laps right there. But it looks like he's going to be able to get it back. I think he took tires when he went down into the pits, so he should be fairly competitive. But looks like he might be getting the wave around right here when we send him back 1 to green. But a late race caution going to bring out a lot of drama here. Austin Coe takes over the race lead. In the Coe Heating and Air Conditioning, Gary Crosgrove Painting, and Panacea Powder Coating number 28 machine. Is Aiken in the 05. Not going to get the wave around he wanted right there. So he is still going to be down 2 laps. So a disaster for the 05 machine late in this one. We saw him up front running in the second spot. He led a couple laps there for a while. But it's just not going to be his day right now. He's still got a long time to make up some laps, but it's Austin Coe and Kenneth Kuko leading us back to the green. Coe getting away nicely down into turns 1 and 2. Here come the tires. Mark Keatman already up past the 48 of Kenneth Kuko, and here comes Mark Keatman down the back straightaway. Coe through the center of the corner. Keatman being nice and patient. Coming out of turn number 4, he's going to look to the inside in turns 1 and 2. So here comes Mark Keatman to the top spot. Coe not going to be able to hang on to the lead down the back straightaway. Here comes Nathan Coaster trying to follow suit. He moves along on the bottom side of the racetrack, and here comes Carter Russo fighting for the 3rd spot. Austin Coe comes down the racetrack, not letting Carter Russo by nicely. Russo now trying to get to the inside. He's going to get there into turn number 3. Younger brother Colton Coe now moves to the inside of Austin. As Austin Coe back to the 5th spot. That's still a couple places higher. As Mark Keatman has just set the fastest lap of the races. Oh, Carter Russo in the 21 machine. Slow down the back straightaway. Your other contender for points here in the 21 has had problems coming out of turn number 2. We'll take a look at what happened. You see him up in front of the 78 of Colton Coe, just grabs the bumps wrong and slides up the racetrack, and just not enough time to save it. He takes a lick on the inside of the racetrack, and that will put us under yellow once again. So Russo going to be going to the back of the pack after that one. But up front, Mark Keatman and Nathan Coaster. We've seen these two battling it out all season long. So far, Keatman has an undefeated record when it comes to battling with Nathan Coaster for the win. But we're going to have to see what the rest of this race holds as we are coming up on 50 laps to go. I'd love to give a shout out really quick to the guys that make this league happen. Brooks Motorsports and Jake Brooks, the promoter of this league. Kuko E Motorsports as well, helping out quite a bit, giving these guys a place to race on Wednesday nights. So big shout out to those guys for putting on a good season here in the Mid-South iRacing Tour. We close it out here tonight at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. So 50 laps left in this season. Your points leader in the top spot right now, Mark Keatman. He's had a great season. After a rough first couple races, he turned things around. He sits at the top of the standings. His closest competitor, Carter Russo, who we just saw go around down the back straightaway, came into tonight 16 points behind your point leader. So it looks like as people start to fall out of this race, looks like Russo just not going to be able to get the championship here tonight. There's 8 cars now on the lead lap with 50 laps to go. Is right here. They're going to be coming around 50 laps to go at the stripe this time by. It's going to be Mark Keatman, Nathan Coaster, Colton Coe, and Austin Coe, your top 4, bringing us to the green this time. So they see the white flag, going to be sending the field back to green this time by. So it's Keatman and Coaster battling it out here with 49 laps to go as they cross the stripe. They head into turns 3 and 4. Keatman way up the racetrack. The pace car drops to the bottom side of the racetrack. He's going to get away nicely and have a couple car lengths advantage as they head down into turns 1 and 2. The Coe brothers side by side for the 3rd spot. Heading down the back straightaway, Austin Coe going to have to give way for now. Move younger brother Colton into the 3rd spot. Kuko in the 48 right there, running in the 5th position. You see Jake Brooks in the 57. He's currently in the 11th spot, a couple laps down, but still right up here with the lead pack. As up front, Keatman starting to extend his lead from the 53 of Nathan Coaster. As we are inside 50 laps to go. These guys are going to have to make the tires last till the end of this one. Right now, Mark Keatman looks like he's got the stuff to do it. Let's battle out back. Carter Russo trying to make his way back through the field after getting around down the back straightaway. He moves around Brad Carpenter. John Piet. Here comes Carter Russo moving to the inside of Austin Godfrey now for the 7th spot. Chris Carpenter trying to come around as well. Here comes Matthew Modzaleski to the inside. A lot of damage on that number 1 machine. We've seen him getting a couple accidents here tonight. It's kind of showing right here as he looks like he might be down on a little bit of straightaway speed. But up front, things really starting to get spread out. Mark Keatman to about half a second advantage as they head down the back straightaway. Colton Coe, the next closest car in the 3rd spot. Kenneth Kuko trying to make the pass for position number 4. Oh, Brad Carpenter gets tagged. He goes around. More trouble for Carter Russo. They make contact down into turns 3 and 4. We'll take a look at what happened. But we saw the 31 machine of Brad Carpenter sideways. And oh, problems for Carter Russo once again. We take a look at what happened right here. As Russo gets up a little bit too high down the back straightaway, grabs the wall, and Brad Carpenter, the 31 machine, just nowhere to go. Matthew Modzaleski sliding in as well. So another caution here. And oh, Carter Russo getting parked for the race after causing another yellow flag. The Mid-South iRacing Tour having a rule about how many yellows you can cause. Carter Russo has just exceeded his limit. So that will do it. I believe Mark Keatman will have the championship in the bag here tonight. But can he pick up another win in the Mid-South iRacing Tour? We got 40 laps to find out. Right now, Keatman, your leader. So Keatman, your leader here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Folks, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to this one, as things are just now starting to get exciting. I feel like we're going to have a great battle for the victory here between Nathan Coaster, Mark Keatman, Colton Coe, Austin Coe, and Kenneth Kuko, your top 5. So the field seeing the 1-to-go signal. Lights falling out on the iRacing.com pace car, and we're going to be sending them green once again. So we started with 29 cars, and we're down to 7 cars on the lead lap. A couple guys just 1 lap down. But Mark Keatman and Nathan Coaster are going to lead us to the green once again. Into turns 3 and 4. Keatman and Coaster starting to pick up the pace. Keatman going nice and early. Coaster going to have a good restart, though. He's going to be a little bit closer this time going into turns 1 and 2. It's the Coe brothers once again battling it out for the 3rd spot. Austin Coe trying to hang on. Looks like Colton's going to get it for now, but move Austin Coe back into 4th. As we work lap 164, coming to 165 right here. Nathan Coaster going to have to get up to the back bumper of Mark Keatman and try and keep the pressure on with 35 laps to go. So 35 to go. Mark Keatman, the champion here tonight. Setting sail once again, trying to get away from the 53 machine of Nathan Coaster. So Keatman still your leader. As we get closer and closer to that lap 175 mark, it's going to mark 25 laps to go. As you see Keatman right here, we're going to go on board with our champion and race leader into turns 1 and 2. So it looks like he is on a Wednesday night cruise. As he heads into turns 3 and 4, Coaster about half a second back. The lap time's pretty even between the two. Keatman just a little bit faster, able to open up the gap little by little every lap. The caution flag flies. Matthew Modzaleski right here around in the 53. So we'll take a look at what happened to Modzaleski as they were going into turns 1 and 2. As you see the 53 right here, you see John Piet and Justin Collison making contact into turns 1 and 2. Looks like the 012 machine just slows up the slightest bit. 53 gets on the binders to try and not clip him, and Jake Brooks in the 57 just nowhere to go, coming out of turns 1 and 2 that time, so that puts us under yellow once again. 171 laps in. So right here on the left side of your screen, you see the top 20. Under yellow for the 14th time here tonight. 8 cars on the lead lap now after Brad Carpenter into the 31 gets the lucky dog. A couple cars only 1 lap down, so if we see a couple more caution flags, we'll see a couple guys getting their laps back, but right now your leader, Mark Keatman, wrapping up the championship after a great season here in the Mid-South iRacing Tour. He's racked up 4 wins this season. Carter Russo collecting 2 as well. As we work lap 174. So Mark Keatman winning the last two races, which put him in position to take over the points lead. He won a couple weeks ago at Bristol and then last week at the Langley Speedway. He's looking to go for a three-peat here tonight. He's going to have to hold off Nathan Coaster and Colton Coe. So we'll be sending him back to green with 25 laps to go. So Coaster and Keatman one more time going into turns 3 and 4. Is Keatman going nice and early once again. Coaster going to be even closer this time. We'll see how they stack up going into turns 1 and 2. Colton Coe able to sneak by his brother Austin. As here comes Kenneth Gucco trying to make a battle to the inside for the 4th spot. Coe giving him plenty of room up top, but able to get the run off the corner and maintain that 4th spot down the front straightaway. As Coaster right there all over the back bumper of Mark Keatman through the center of the corner. Did Nathan Coaster save any tires on those long runs? We're going to find out right here. As he grabbed the apron right there, he's going to lose all that ground that he just made up. We are 23 laps to go in the Mid-South iRacing Tour season. Keatman still your leader. We see the battle right here on the left side of your screen. There we go. The left side of your screen right there. Or sorry, right side of your screen, Nathan Coaster. You see him losing time through the center of the corner, but looks like he gains it back on exit. Nonetheless, Nathan Coaster going to have to really put a couple laps together here if he wants any shot at a victory here in the Mid-South iRacing Tour. As we have 19 laps to go for race leader Mark Keatman. So right now, Nathan Coaster getting caught by the 78 machine of Colton Coe. You see Coe right there slowly closing the gap on corner exit. He might have saved tires. He's really starting to put a couple corners together. Here comes the 78 of Colton Coe with 16 laps to go. At this pace, Mark Keatman's still the fastest car on the racetrack last time around. But Colton Coe trying to get around his P1 Performance teammate of Nathan Coaster. This last time around, the 53 and the 78 were faster than Mark Keatman. But as they're about a second back, it's going to take quite a bit of speed. As the 78 of Coe all over the back bumper of Nathan Coaster, trying to look to the inside that time around, just not able to do it. Is Coaster able to hang on for now? This Mark Keatman, 12 laps to go for him to collect his 5th victory of the season. As they work down the back straightaway, your leader, Mark Keatman, out by quite a ways, 11 to go that time around. See the flagman putting his hands up in the stands that time. 10 to go for Mark Keatman after a flawless season. Once you knock out those first couple of races, the battle for second still heating up between Nathan Coaster and Colton Coe. Coaster just not able to give it up right now. This Coe in the 3rd spot, trying to get one of his best career finishes here in the Mid-South iRacing Tour. He tags the wall right there, not going to help his chances if he wants to get around the 53 of Nathan Coaster. But up front, it is all Mark Keatman, as we'll go on board with your champion here this season and current race leader with 7 to go. It's 5 laps to go. Mark Keatman going through turns 3 and 4. It's going to be 4 more times around for the number 2. But right now, the battle is for the 2nd spot on the racetrack. Colton Coe takes a peek to the inside once again. Nathan Coaster still not ready to budge. This Coe doing everything in his power to keep it clean. The pink and gold 78 machine. Just 3 laps to go for your race leader, Mark Keatman. Coe looks to the inside once again. Coaster slamming the door in turns 1 and 2. The tires might be shot on your 2nd and 3rd place cars, as right now Mark Keatman coming out of turn number 4. Popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go for race leader Mark Keatman. Keatman looking to make it 3 races in a row right here. He has collected the victory. Now to turn number 4, white flag is out, 1 more lap to go for race leader Mark Keatman. Keatman, after putting together a solid season in the Mid-South iRacing Tour. We mentioned earlier that he picked up the championship into turns 3 and 4 for the final time this season in Mid-South iRacing Tour. Mark Keatman going to bring it across the stripe and collect the victory and the championship. So congratulations to Mark Keatman and team for putting together a great season, collecting 5 wins, including the last 3. He grabs the Mid-South iRacing Tour Championship in the 2022 fall season. So Keatman making his way out of turn number 4, going to burn it down here on the front straightaway for the final time this season. So Keatman collecting the victory. They're going to grab a quick victory lane photo with our top 3. Promoter of the league, Jake Brooks, coming by and giving some congratulations to your champion, Mark Keatman. You see him right there parked on the front straightaway along with the rest of your top 3, Nathan Coaster and Colton Coe. We're going to get a word from all 3 of those drivers here in just a couple moments, as we'll be right back here on the WD Broadcast Network. All right, folks, we are back here on the WD Broadcasting Network, ready to wrap it up for the final time this season. Here we are with our 3rd place competitor, Colton Coe. Well, Colton, not the ideal qualifying run you wanted, but you stuck it out for all 200 laps, and you ended up in 3rd place at the end. Tell us how your race went.
It was more attrition than it was racing, what it felt. Just, I don't understand why everybody has to go balls to the wall after the first 25 laps. It just took out all the field, and it wasn't. After that, it just wasn't really a lot of fun. But playing strategy games, I like long races like that. That's why I like endurance racing. I like strategy and having to play it a different skill set. So it's definitely something that I'd like to run a lot more in leagues. Because having a set of tires and not enough fuel, it's just who has the smartest strategy. And tonight, Mark did. Congrats to him. I don't know what he does. I'm driving my butt off. I'm sweating here in the cockpit, and he's just driving away from me. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I need to do some work on it though, I guess.
Yeah, you said everybody in the beginning there took out half of the field. As I said earlier in the broadcast, we finished with about 8 cars on the lead lap, so a lot of cars getting taken out early, but luckily you were able to dodge all the accidents and hang on and come home 3rd here tonight. Probably one of your best finishes here in the Mid-South iRacing Tour, if not your best. Sure, it took a lot here tonight to get that number 78 machine in the 3rd spot. I'll let you think who you got to thank before we wrap it up.
First, I'd like to thank my dad for supplying me iRacing, letting me buy the tracks that we race at, and watching me from the basement and tips and stuff on how to get faster. I'd like to thank you for broadcasting the league, taking time out of your night to get this out there on Facebook. Do a great job every week. I'd like to thank Jake for putting on the league, giving us a Race to run on Wednesday nights. I think co-heating and air conditioning. I think P1 Performance for backing me, supporting me, all they do for me. So yeah.
Alrighty, well, a good third place run to wrap up your season. We hope to see you back next season here in the Mid-South iRacing Tour.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, folks, that was your third place finisher, Colton Coe. And now we'll bring in your second place finisher, Nathan Coaster. Well, Nate, we saw you lead almost the first half of this race. You led up until about lap 80 when you came in for your first pit stop and grabbed fuel only that time. Tell us about your strategy and tell us about how your race went.
Yeah, that was a little interesting. With after practice and qualifying, I was like, I have to do something different. In 200 laps and the way that the setup was feeling, I knew it was definitely going to be a tire wearing setup. And with just after 10 laps, kind of the fall off I was seeing and the way the car felt, I knew tires are going to be important. So yeah, strategy wise, they're on, yeah, like you said, lap 80, made the decision to come down, take fuel only. I think potentially Russo had pitted there on like lap 60 for fuel. The idea behind that strategy was to hit early and hopefully around lap 100, all the other guys would pit for their fuel and tires. And then I would have been able to stretch it out to about that 150 mark and then be on 50 lap newer tires. Um, where you saw that strategy get twisted was we had that long run and a lot of those guys were starting to run low on fuel and we were about 2 laps away. I believe Mark was coming in on the lap the yellow came out and would have needed 2 more laps to put him a lap down. The goal behind that was obviously Mark won the race. He's darn fast. I was trying to get him a lap down. That was the intent from lap 1 in the race and it just unfortunately came up a little bit short, but otherwise, yeah, the first part of the race, I would say I was racing a little bit harder than the guys behind me were, as I knew my strategy was not about saving tires and going for the long run. But there at the end, I had nothing for Mark. He was on rails. I was trying things. Nothing seemed to work, and he definitely deserved the win in the championship.
Yeah, we've seen you battling with Mark Keatman a lot this year for that top spot, including last week at Langley where you just came up a little bit short. Tonight, once again, coming up just a tiny bit short in the second spot. Um, you came in with us in the later stages of the season. Are we going to see you back next year?
I'll definitely think about it. It was honestly a good race after the first 50 laps kind of got rolling. Definitely think about it. It was a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed not running the full league and like worrying about points. It made it a lot more fun. One less thing to worry about and stress about every race. But yeah, I might have to come back for a full season.
Alrighty, well, second place here tonight, backing up last week's finish. Congratulations on a good end of your season.
Thank you.
All right, that was your second place finisher. Now for the man of the hour, going 3 in a row in the last 3 weeks to collect a Mid-South iRacing Tour Championship and a victory here tonight, Mark Keatman.
Yeah, how's it going, Winston? How about that race, huh?
I mean, it was a pretty good race. I nailed the fuel strategy there. I said they'd make it around lap 130 is when guys would start to run out, and sure enough, Jake and Justin Collison came down around lap 130. So I put my Larry McReynolds cap on there and got it quite right for not knowing, honestly. But um, we saw you just about. We heard Nate say it in the last one. You needed about 2 more laps, and luckily you caught a very lucky break and were able to stay in the lead, grab your tires and fuel, and pick up a victory here tonight.
Lady Luck was definitely on my side. I had my fuel box up. I literally had 1.8 laps left. I was coming that time, and they were spinning on the backstretch in front of me. I couldn't believe it, honestly. I couldn't have gotten any luckier. And then, Carter getting DQ'd. I hate it for him. But Carter was in a desperate spot all night. I appreciate Nathan and Blaine, all of them racing me clean. It was an awesome race between all of them. Just couldn't ask for a better night. Swept the sprint car championship, got my first super championship, won the race. Just awesome. I don't know really what to say.
Yeah, we saw you put together a great season towards the end. It didn't start off the way I'm sure you initially wanted it to, but you turned it around late in the season and grabbed 5 wins, including the last 3, and picked up your first ever Mid-South iRacing Tour Super Late Model Championship. So congratulations. And for the last time this season, I'll let you thank whoever you got to thank that helped all this happen.
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, all my friends back home who have tuned in to watch the races and cheer me on. I'd like to thank my boss, Mike, at Clive Power Equipment for never not believing in me. Just the list goes on and on. Just it's amazing, honestly. I couldn't ask for a better night, hands down. This is probably the best way it could have turned out. Luck was definitely on my side. I'll chalk it up all to luck.
Yeah, luck is definitely a factor here, especially after that lucky caution at the midpoint of the race. But you said a lot of fans that help out and help you or cheer you on every week. We see them down in the chat right here, so I'm sure you made them happy here tonight, collecting a championship and a victory. So congratulations on your 5th victory of the season and your Mid-South iRacing Tour championship.
Thank you, Winston. I appreciate Jake and Kenneth and Ryan for putting all of this on. You especially for broadcasting. Great group of people, no doubt. I appreciate everything y'all do.
Yep. Well, thank you very much. It means a lot. Been a long season, but it seems like it was very short. Here we are in the last race, and in just a couple of weeks we're gonna be starting up a next season. Will we see you there?
Yeah, I think so. We'll see how the season starts off, and we'll go from there. Definitely looking into running the late model stock full time. We're gonna go for that one too. See how that plays out. But I got my one. That's all I really wanted, and like I said, just couldn't ask for a better night.
Alrighty, well, congratulations, Mark, and we're gonna wrap it off here in the Mid-South iRacing Tour season. I'd like to thank everybody that tuned in to all these races all season long. It was a great season, and it capped off with a great ending race, a good battle there, a lot of drama here in the mid-race, and a guy that was very happy about winning a championship after collecting 5 victories, including the last 3. So congratulations to Mark Keatman and crew and everybody in the comment section below cheering him on. It was a team effort there from the MK Performance number 2. They put it together in the final race and picked up a Mid-South iRacing Tour championship. So congrats to them. Congrats to all of our competitors here tonight that had a good run. And I'd like to thank one more time before we wrap things up, Jake Brooks and Kenneth Kuko and Ryan Freeman, all those guys helping out quite a bit with this league and making it a lot of fun here on Wednesday nights. Definitely a lot of fun. We will be back next season. Don't you guys worry. As I mentioned before as well, the WD Broadcasting Network Super Late Model Series on Thursday nights. So you're going to be getting us 2 nights a week. I'm sure a lot of the guys that run this league are going to be hopping over Thursdays as well. So a lot of good racing here to come on the WD Broadcasting Network. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. Thanks for everybody that tuned in for the whole almost 2 hours of this event. But it was well worth it. It was a great race. That's going to wrap it up. I'd like to wish everybody a good rest of their week, and we're going to be off for a couple weeks here, but we will be back for more racing here on the WD Broadcasting Network. So everybody have a good night, and y'all take it easy.